Hi, welcome to my video on the volume of a square pyramid. Volume of a square pyramid. The pyramid is the diagram that's on the left here. A square pyramid has a square base and four congruent triangular sides. The square base is A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. Note that all the sides are marked as being equal because the square has four equal sides. The triangular sides are X, B, C, X, B, C, X, D, C, X, D, C, and X, A, D, and X, A, B. And all those sides are congruent. They are the same. And the height is perpendicular to the base, and so the height is xy, perpendicular to the base, and it hits the base right in the middle. That's the midpoint between these two diagonals. The midpoint of this diagonal, so it's right in the middle. Now what we have is what we call a square prism. The bottom is a square and a height, and we have what we call a square pyramid. What I want to do now is show you how this square prism is cut to form the square pyramid. So what I did, I took a piece of sponge and I cut it with a knife. So the piece of sponge, as you can see, I have it cut. So much. I cut it going down this way with a knife, and I took this piece off. Then I cut it on the other side. Notice it's going down through. So I sliced it. So I have this left. And then I'm going to turn it sideways. Then I cut it down through here, and I cut that piece away, and I cut it here on this side. So I cut all those pieces off, and I was left with, started out with a square prism, and ended up with a square pyramid. So the pyramid, there it is. Have a look, square base. So interesting. So let's continue. The volume of this square prism, volume is base area times height, and it's S squared H, because the bottom is a square going up through a height of H. And since this square pyramid is cut from the square prism, it's 1/3 of the volume, base area times height. So it's 1/3 of S squared H. Like a cylinder, a cone cut from a cylinder when they're the same height. A cone is 1/3 the volume of a cylinder. So it's 1/3 here also. Good way to remember it. Let's find the volume of some of these square pyramids. So here we have a pyramid, and we have the base edge is S, is 9, so that's 9, 9, 9, 9. We have AH is 10 feet, so AH is 10, so that's the height of 10. So the volume of a square prism is 1/3 base area times height. I keep writing this formula down to remind me. Base volume is the base area moving through a distance. So the base is a square, the bottom, times the height, and it's 1/3. The base is side is 9, so it's 9 squared times the height is 10. So that's 1/3. 9 squared is 9 nines is 81 times 10, and 3 into 81 goes 27. So 27 times 10 is 270. And the units are feet, So volume is cubic feet, 270. And B, the edge of a square base of a prism with a square base is 4.2. So S is 4.2 and is meters. The height is 7.5 meters. So the volume is 1/3 base area times height. So it's 1/3 of S squared H. So it's 1/3, and the base is 4.2, and the height is 7.5, and I put the square on that. So when you multiply all that out with a calculator, you get 4.1, and the units is in meters, so that's meters, and that's meters. So area times the distance gives you a volume of meters cubed. The volume of a square prism, 1/3 S squared H. Let's do some practice. Practice means you can pause the video and work out one of these one at a time. As you work each one out, do one at a time, play it back to see if you're right. So doing one at a time, if you make an error, you're able to correct your error before you do all of them. So let's find the volume of each square pyramid from numbers 1 to 3, because in number 4 it's reversed. So we have a square prism, we have S to be 12 centimeters, and we have XL. XL is 9, so as our height is 9 centimeters. So the volume is 1/3 base area times height. So that's 1/3 S squared H. And S is 12, so it's 12 squared. Height is 9. And if we want, we can take 1/3 of 9, which is 3. And what we have left is 12 squared times 3. To 12 squared is 144 multiplied by 3. And that gives us 432. Volume is cubic. Number 2, a square base pyramid has a perimeter of 28 and a height of 9 feet. Notice that we have yards and feet, so we have to have the same units. So let's take 9 feet, and 9 divided by 3 gives us 3, so we have 3 yards. Because 9, if you think about 9 feet, and there's 1 yard, has 3 feet. So 3 and 3 goes once, 3 to 9 goes 3. The feet cancels out, so we get 3 yards. So 9 feet is 3 yards. Now we have all the same units. The base of the pyramid is a perimeter. So the perimeter is 28. The perimeter of a square base has 4 sides. Is 4S equals 28. Divide by 4. That means each side is going to be a 7. So now we have a height of 3. We have a side of 7. So the volume is 1/3 base area times height. So it's 1/3 of S squared H. So that's 1/3. S is 7, so it's 7 squared. And the height is 3. 3 into 3 goes once. So that gives us, that cancels out. So 7 squared is 49. So we have 49, and it's yards, so it's yards cubed. Number 3, the base area is 15 square feet, and the height is 4.5. So the base area is 15, and we have meters, and meters is okay. The height is 4 2/5. So the volume is 1/3 base area times height. So it's 1/3. Now we have a base area of 15, and remember it's 15 square meters. The height is 4 2/5. Let's change to 4 2/5 from a mixed number to an improper fraction. So that makes it 4 5s are 20 plus 2 is 22 over 5. We're multiplying fractions. I always like to cancel. 3 goes into 15 5 times because the 15 is over 1. 5 goes into 5, cancels out. So 1 times 22 is 22, and they're all 1s on the bottom. 1 times 1 times 1, and we have 22 meters cubed for volume. Number 4, the volume of a square pyramid is 60 cubic centimeters. The volume, giving you the volume this time, 60 cubic centimeters. The edge of the square, S, is 6. We want to find the height. So the height is going to be a question mark. So let's see. The volume is 1/3 base area times height. So it's 1/3 of S squared times height. So if the volume is 60, let's put 60 in the place of volume. And we have an edge of 6, so we put 6 in the place of S. And we have to find the height. So 60, 1/3, 6 squared is 36 times the height, 6. 1/3 of 36 is 12, so we get 12H. Divide both sides by 12, and we get the height to be a 5. And the units is in centimeters. So we found, notice we work backwards here, working them out. Always work different ways. Keep you thinking in math. The more you think, the better you become. Now we have a square pyramid, but this time I want to talk about it from a different point of view. In the square pyramid, a slant height of a square pyramid is the altitude of each of the lateral faces. The altitudes are the altitude. Also, we have a height of a, notice, we have AC is a lateral, is a slant height, AB is a slant height, AC is a slant height because they're perpendicular to the base in the triangle. AC, AB, and AE are the slant heights in the congruent triangles. Also, because that's a slant height, C, B, and E are the midpoint of the sides of the square. H is the height, is used for the height of the pyramid, and L is used for the slant height of the face. So note, the height going down comes right through here. You can't see because I got that line there. The height goes to the middle of the base. The height of the pyramid is from here right to the middle of the square. Slant height is on the side, so that's the L. And this is the height, excuse me, which I have indicated here is the better diagram. So we pretend that that's the A right there. This is the slant height going down the side of the triangle. This is the height going from the top to the base. So H is the height, L is the slant height. Let's find the volume of the square pyramid. So what we have is a square pyramid. We have X, H is 8. We have X, Y is 10. So note that that's the height. That's 8 down through here. We have X, Y is the slant height, L. And so if you take this triangle like this, which is an X, an H, and a Y, that's 8, and that's 10. This is the right angle. Notice we got to find the third side in Pythagorean, so we use C squared is A squared plus B squared, a property that I use quite often. C is opposite the right angle, so C is 10. C is the hypotenuse. A squared plus H squared. 10 times 10 is 100. H squared is 64. So we got 100 minus 64. We transpose it to the left side. So a squared is 36. So a is the square root of 36. So a is 6. So if we have, that's a 6, so that means that that's a 6 right there. That means if that's in the midpoint, or that means that this segment right through here is a 6 and a 6, so that makes the edge 12. So that makes S is 12, because that's in the middle. 6 and 6 makes 12. So now we can find a volume, because we have S is 12, and we have the height is, the height of the pyramid is 8. So the volume is 1/3 base area times height, 1/3 of S squared H. 1/3 S is 12 squared, height is 8. And if we want, we can go 12 times 12, we could call 144, but I just wanted to do 12 times 12. 3 cancels out into 12, goes 4. So 4 12s is 48 times 8, and that gives us 384 when you multiply 48 times 8. I could have taken the calculator and go 1/3 times 12 squared times 8 and got 384. I just wanted to work this through with the 1/3, because 1/3 of the 12 is 4. I'm working it out. And we got a volume. Practice means pause your video and see if you can work this one out like I did here. And RT is the height, and TV is the slant height. So TV is 20, so that's a 20 right there. RT is the height, so that's a 12 there. And like above, we have a triangle, and we have a 12, we have a right angle, we have a 20. So we have to find this side right here, and we can call it X. So we got a Pythagorean again, a squared plus b squared. C is opposite the right angle, so C is 20. A is X, and B is 12. It don't make any difference which is X and 12, as long as your C is your 20. So that's 400. X squared. 12 times 12 is 144. 400 minus 144 by transposition, moving it to the left side. So X squared becomes 256. So X is the square root of 256. And so X becomes 16. And let's go right here, that's a 16. And right straight on through, because this is the same length as this. So that's a 16 and a 16. So altogether, S becomes 32. And we have a height of 12. So we're now ready to do the area. Volume, 1/3 base area times height. The base area is S squared times H, so it's 1/3 of S, which is 32 squared times 12. And 3 into 12 goes 4, so we have 32 squared times 4, which works out to be, you could go square this first if you want, don't have to. So that's 32 squared is 1024 times 4, and that works out to be 4096, and our units are in inches, so it's cubic inches per volume. And again, you could have taken 32 squared times 4 and picked up 4096 right away. So that's just from a slant height point of view. We're here to do the Pythagorean. Now, the last question. Practice means pause the video and work this one out. I made this one up a little tiny bit extra. I always like to help you think in math. We have a lateral area of a square pyramid to be 80. So the lateral area of a square pyramid is 80, and you have square centimeters. is area. The slant height, L is slant height, is 5. So let's draw a pyramid. Okay, here we are. It says the slant height. So the slant height is the height coming down to the side of the triangle. So there's the slant height, which is 5. And we got a base area of 80. So that means the bottom is a square. So if the base area is 80, the base area is a square, but the lateral area is 80. The lateral area has 4 congruent triangles. So the lateral area has 4 triangles. And so the 4 triangles are equal in area. So the 4 triangles is equal to 80. That means if you divide by 4, that means one triangle, just one triangle, is 20. So the area of one triangle is 20. So that means if you have a triangle, formula is half the base times the height. The area of the triangle is 20, half, and we have a base. Let's see, we have a height of the triangle. Well, when we say height now, we mean the slant height, right? So the slant height is 5. So we want to find what this base of this triangle is, and that base is really the S in terms of the square prism. So I have a half times that is a 5, so that's 5 over 2b. So we have an equation with a fraction. What you could do is multiply both sides by 2. If you multiply both sides by 2 to keep it balanced, the 2 cancels out. So I get a 40 equals 5b. And divide by 5. So I get b is equal to 8. So the base is 8 centimeters. Now that we have the base, so that's 8 right there, we have to find its height. Well, if you think about it, if that's 8 all the way across here, the height is coming down from the top like that, perpendicular. So there's the height coming down. This is the slant height here, perpendicular. So that's an 8. That means that this piece right here is a 4, and this part is a 4. This segment is the same as this one. So it's 4 and 4. So that means in this triangle that I have drawn, I have a height. I have a slant height of 5, which is coming down right here. I have a 4 right here with a right angle. Again, I have a Pythagorean, c squared, a squared plus b squared. 5 is my c, a is the h, b is the 4. 25, h squared plus 16. 25 minus 16 is h squared. So h squared is 9. So h is the square root of 9. So h is equal to 3. Now we have, if you look at it, we have a height of 3. And we have a base edge, which is my b. Yes, let's go back to here. 8 is, b is 8, b, so b is, so s is my side. Right here is 8. So we have the volume, 1/3 base area times height. Get the volume member of a square prism. We have s squared h, so we needed the s and the h. So we had to do the Pythagorean to get the height of 3, and we had to work out the area formula to get the length of the side, which is 8. So it's the side is 8 squared, the height is 3. And 1/3 8 squared times 3, 3 cancels out. And 8 squared is 64. And the units are in centimeters, so the height is a centimeter. The side is 8 centimeters. But when you do the volume, these are units in length, but the volume is cubic, so it's cubic centimeters. So the formula to work out the volume of a prism is 1/3 base area times height. So you need the length of the side of the base and the bottom, and you need your height. So good little problem to work out. That's a lot of math. A lot of math. If you like my video, click on the like button, click on the subscribe button if you're not a subscriber, and the notification bell. And if you wish to write a comment, go ahead if you're a subscriber. And also visit my math website, www.mathfullyexplained.com. There you'll get information on me, my degrees and teaching experience. The video section tells you about the strategies you're going to use to help you learn your math. And the section on content has the topics, the units that I have online. The black font is what's done already, and the red font is what will be done in the near future. Thank you very much for viewing my video. Bye-bye.